Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Hams. Today we're going to do some photo editing in Adobe Lightroom. So please stick around because I'm going to share with you my editing workflow, some tips, and a plugin on how to make your photos pop in Lightroom. Okay, for this video, I am using the photos taken by my Canon M50 and this 11 to 22 mm wide angle lens. I have this camera lens combination for almost a year already and really takes great landscape shots. And for my editing workflow style, I have developed this kind of HDR looking photos, but not too unrealistic. And one thing I've used is this one plugin that I use for like 3 to 4 years already, and I like it, and it really makes your photos pop in Lightroom. So without further ado, let's get into Lightroom. Okay guys, we're now here in Lightroom. As you can see, I have prepared a couple of images for this tutorial to edit, and all these photos are coming from the Canon M50 and this 11 to 22 mm wide angle lens. So for this photo, is a sunrise photo I took in Taiping Lake Garden, Malaysia. It's a very beautiful place, very serene. So let's proceed with the edit. Sometimes to start my edit, you can create a virtual copy of your raw file so that it will not be disturbed during your edit. So first step straight away is I will go to this lens correction panel in Lightroom, and you can straight away click these two buttons, the auto profile correction and lens chromatic aberration. What it will do is it will correct the distortion of your lens, and we correct some chromatic aberration of your photo. It's a really nice feature. It will auto detect your camera and lens. Next is the transform panel. In here, I just click this level button to level out any problem on my horizon. For this particular photo, I guess it's okay. So let's proceed with the basic correction panel. In here, we correct the white balance and the exposure of our photo. So for the white balance, I normally use this selector tool to select any white portion of my photo to use as the white balance. So for this photo, I think I will use this white portion of these small boats. As you can see, it auto corrects the white balance of our photo, and it gives this warm tone of our image, of sunrise image. For the highlights, we just crank it down all the way to the left, and for the shadows, lift it up a bit until you see some details on the shadows. And for the whites, you just press the Alt button and move to the right until you see these blown out highlights, and move back a bit. And for the black, same thing, but now to the left until you see this pure black, and move back a bit. Moving on, for the clarity, for this time we don't need to use the clarity because we will use the plugin in a while. So for dehaze, we just use around 5 to 10 value. It's good enough, and probably we just add in a bit of vibrance of our image. And next step is to go to the detail panel, and we remove some shadow noise of the image after we lift up the shadows. And for sharpening, we no need to touch it for now. And the final adjustment that I will normally do in my sunrise photo is go to this calibration panel, and in the blue primary slider, I will move the hue portion around 10 to 20 values to the left, and saturation around 10 to 20 to the right as well. This will give the magenta and red tones of our sunrise image, and will really give the photos more pop. So from here, my global adjustment is basically done, and now we're going to proceed to edit to the Color Effects Pro plugin. So just right click and click this Color Effects Pro 4 and choose this with Lightroom Adjustment, and it will open up this Color Effects Pro 4 plugin. I really like this plugin, and I've been using this for all my landscape photo editing because it's really easy to use. As you can see now, it opened in the plugin, and the left side you can see all the filters that you can play. For my photo editing, I just normally use 2 to 3 filters only. So for this photo, I just choose the landscape filters, and first I will select the detail extractor filter, and on the right side is where you can find the adjustment slider on how much the degree of detail you want to affect in your photo, and you can adjust the contrast and saturation as well. Normally I just use between 10 to 20% of these sliders, really good enough to give some details of your photo. One feature of this plugin is you can minus out portion of your image that you don't want the effect to be implemented. So let's click this minus button to remove the effect on this water portion. Let's click another one to the right, so it will remove the detailed effect of this portion of the image. We add in another filter by clicking this add filter button, and for landscape sunrise photo I normally use this skylight filter. This skylight filter will add warm tone of your sunrise photo, and again you just play around with the slider around 10 to 25% depending on the photo. And as you can see guys, it really give the difference of our photo now. As we compare the before and after from the Lightroom edit and the plugin edit, it has really a very big difference now. It has more detail, and the colors are very nice, and it really gives the sunrise vibe of our photo. So from here we just click save, and it will open back to Lightroom and save another file from the plugin edit. So as you can see, it save another file. There's an edit name on it. So we just do some final fine-tuning of our image. So we just go to this basic correction panel. We just do some small adjustment, maybe perhaps turn down a bit the highlights, give some contrast, and probably we add in a bit of vibrance of our image, a bit only. Then we go to the detail panel and we add in a bit of a sharpening of our photo. And one last thing is we go to the detail and probably, or the effects, and probably we add in a bit of a vignette of our image. It's just a personal taste. And one more thing that I normally do for sunrise is, if there's a blue tone on the clouds, you can add in a graduated filter at the top. Just bring down the exposure a bit, and from the temperature slider you can turn down, and just to bring up back the blue tones of the sky, and it really makes difference of the image, as you can see. So this is our final edited photo guys, from Lightroom and through the Color Efex Pro plugin. And we can compare this from the raw file from where we started, and as you can see, it has very big improvements now. It has a very great colors, high dynamic range, and you can really tell it's a sunrise photo. And what I can say is the colors, the dynamic range of the Canon M50 is really great. Okay, so let's proceed with another image to edit. This image I took from my last vacation in Cebu, Philippines. As you can see, it is in the early morning as well, and it's a low tide. And you can see this improvised fishing equipment in the foreground. To start the edit, one way we can do is to sync my previous raw file edit with this current photo by clicking both photos and click the sync button and click synchronize. Now it will copy all the global adjustment to this photo. As you can see, it has already the warm color tone on it, but we can still continue the fine tuning of this photo. So now we go to this basic correction panel. I think we need to adjust the shadow a bit because it's a bit dark. Adjust a bit the exposure. I think 0.5 is enough. And I think this photo is good when we crop this for 16:9 ratio. So we do this. You can double check with the detail panel if all the adjustments, global adjustments are there, and the calibration adjustment as well. So if all is there, then we can proceed straight away to the Color Efex Pro 4. We click right, and we proceed to open in the Color Efex Pro plugin. So we are here now in the Color Efex Pro 4 plugin. As you can see guys, the detail extractor filter that we used previously in our previous photo is there. The adjustments are there, the values are the same. For me, as I can see in the photo, I'm happy with the adjustments, so I no need to adjust the values there. So for this one, I will just add in another filter that I normally use. This one is called the cross processing. I really like this filter because it's like the split toning effect in Lightroom, but here you can straight away select and the effect right away whatever you want to use for this photo. So for this one, I think this one is better and good, so I select this one. So from here we just save the photo and it will go back to Lightroom and we can do the final adjustments. So this is the edited photo from the plugin, and from here we just do some final fine-tuning of our photo. Maybe we just bring down a bit of highlights, give a bit of contrast, uh, vibrance or colors. Another thing is we can remove some shadow noise, give a bit of sharpening to our final photo. And one thing I normally do is give a bit of a vignette. It depends on you, you just eyeball it, maybe a bit only is good enough. And that's it. As you can see guys, for comparison from our raw file from where we started, compare now to our final edited photo, it has really big difference. The photo now really pop, has great detail, more punchy, and you can press L or F for your photo so that you can view in full screen mode, so you can examine really your final photo edit to have a good look. And that's it. So that's it guys, hopefully you get something from this video tutorial, and if you have some reactions and comments you can leave at the comment section. And if you like this video, please help to click the thumbs up button, really appreciate it, thank you. And if you want more video tutorials, editing tutorials, just let me know as well in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please help to subscribe and be part of my very small community. And if you haven't watched some of my cinematics and photography videos, you can click somewhere here and you can watch more. So that's it guys, until next time, see you, peace.